Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, our topic is how to solve every problem through Kriya Yoga. Let's start with the prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Master Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. O great ones, help us to dive deep into the spirit, into thy presence, away from the problems, the desires, and attachments in this world. We are thy children. Release us and bring us home to thee. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We'll have a song now, Peace, sung by Swamiji, and then an excerpt from a talk by Swamiji on this topic. Welcome again, everyone.
Peace gave us the mountains, peace gave us the sky. Nightly when starlight enfolds us, peace is its lullaby. Peace gave us the morning, peace gave us the sun, bird songs that call us to welcome day and fresh labors begun. Peace gave us the seasons, peace gave us the rain, cool clouds that gather to bless us, mist hands that soothe away pain. Peace gave us our heart's love, peace gave us our smiles, rays of thy presence within us, light that all strife reconciles. Amen.
The secret to happiness is to think of God all the time, to practice His presence. Don't think this is something that you have to do when you're old, you're tired, you're sick of it all, and finally you give a few last breaths to God. Make friends with Him now. You know, there was a woman who met Yogananda when she was in her 80s. This was in Seattle. She had been an atheist all her life. When she met him, suddenly she became completely transformed. He had that effect on people. And she became a devotee. You know that in the few years that remained to her, she found liberation. Now that is not a small thing. Obviously she had good karma already, buried under materialistic environment. But still, with her devotion to God and Guru, she was able to cut through all the silken cords of Maya and find freedom. That is our destiny. That is what you were created for. Don't give too much time to the pressing duties of life. They won't last long. The cause and effect of karma, it's not really karma. In the end, there is no karma. There is only that one. But as long as you're acting, you might as well act in the right way and do the right things, and this is getting good karma. And if you work in the wrong way, you get bad karma, and that creates a veil over your mind so that you don't see things clearly anymore. And so karma prevents you. But it's only your own actions and your own dream thoughts. In the end, every soul is pure. You are as good as Krishna and Rama and Yogananda and all the great masters who ever lived. You are that.
Again, friends, this is such an important topic, and I've worked with the Kriya Sangha for dozens and dozens of years, and I've seen people come at the beginning and they had so many problems and worries and wrong attitudes and wrong behaviors, and they thought they would never change. I thought I would never change, frankly. But doing Kriya over time, with the Guru's grace, with joy, with his blessings, with dedication and commitment, everything comes out okay. And I saw people's faces just become shining and bright, and so much light flooding them. Many of you there in India that I've seen over many, many years practicing Kriya. And it says, I went to read a couple of these, even a little practice, it says in the Bhagavad Gita, of this inward religion will free you from dire fears and colossal sufferings. And Swami Sri Yukteswar said, forget the past. The vanished lives of all men are dark with many shames, but everything will improve if you're making the spiritual effort now. And Lahiri Mahashaya Ji always would tell his disciples when they would come with the problem, do more Kriya. And then someone else would come with a different problem, do more Kriya. Someone else would come, do more Kriya. And so this is the cornerstone of our life, to not get enmeshed in the problems and sink into the moods and the anger and the fears and worries, but to do more Kriya and do it properly and do it with the Guru. So let's look at how Kriya really can help you. It helps us because it changes our outer life, the circumstances, everything that's going on in our life. It makes changes in those things because it changes our inner life. If your inner life, if the energy is flowing properly, if there's enough energy, if you're burning up seeds of karma, then things go much better in your life. And so what Kriya does is disconnects you from the outer surface of the body, from the sense telephones. Master said you cut the sense telephone wires. Your energy starts going back into its source, inside the spine and towards the soul and the highest part of your being, instead of going out to the world and being pulled by the senses and all the desires and the attachments. And this is how most people live, and they're not happy. But as you begin to do Kriya, first thing it does is bring your energy in. You feel more fulfilled. You feel more happy in yourself. You feel more centered in yourself. And so the first point is that we want to disconnect at least once in the day from the outer pulls of the world. This is what Kriya does. It just takes energy and pulls it back in strongly, because you're creating a strong magnet in the spine, which is the second part I want to go into. Is if you can imagine a stream or a low-flowing river where there's not a lot of water flow. And so you have all kinds of things along the banks. You have twigs, debris, trash, whatever. And so those things will stay where they are because there's not enough of a strong flow. Kriya creates a very powerful, strong flow in the astral spine, which breaks up, begins to dissolve, begins to get rid of, moves forward, moves away all of the debris of our karma. It begins to break up the karma. You can imagine a boulder at the edge of the water of a beach. And every time that water goes over and comes back over, every day, all day long, what happens? That big boulder, because that big boulder of your karma begins to break up, begins to erode. It breaks up into little pieces, isn't it so? And that water, if you keeps going over back and forth, then those rocks become sand. And that's what happens with our karma. As we do Kriya, we're introducing a very powerful flow in our astral spine where the seeds of karma, of desires, of attachments, they're just sitting there from who knows how many lifetimes. And I had this thought the other day that Kriya gets rid of the problems you don't even know you have from other lifetimes, mountains of karma, and gets rid of problems that you could have had in this life before you even know you have them, because it's working on those things all the time. So first it brings the energy in, and you have much more energy to work with. And then it moves that energy up and down your spine, just breaking up the karma. Every time you do Kriya, you're breaking it up. And that's why you feel so free inside yourself, fulfilled. There's peace. There's a joyful feeling. There's an uplifted feeling. And finally, Kriya lifts that karma, whatever is left after you finish with that, up to the seat of soul awareness, of super consciousness at the spiritual eye. And it just burns the rest of it away. And so we're focusing, another way you can see is we're focusing on light. When we finish our Kriya, we're in the light. We're not in the problems. We're absorbed in light. And you could also say that there's no soil for those seeds to germinate because you're just absorbed in light. You're not absorbed in problems. And so after we finish our Kriya, we bring that energy up and we just get rid of whatever is lingering there in our consciousness. And also we're in a super conscious state, at least just every day, say at least I'm in a little bit of a super conscious state, even if you're not in a lot. Like Master said to Swamiji said, do Kriya with joy, even if you don't feel it, affirm it. So even in super conscious state, just have at least in a little bit of, I'm saying a little bit of light, that's burning up my karma. And also realize that in that state, you're looking down on the problems. You've got answers, solutions in the super conscious state. You've got inspiration. You've got insights. You know what to do. You've got the help of the masters. And all of that is helping you to get rid of the problems. First, you don't have nearly as many because you're centered in yourself and you're not being pulled out. Secondly, you're burning them up when you do Kriya. Thirdly, you're finishing them off at the spiritual eye. It's a fantastic technique. I hope you're doing more and more of it. And then another fantastic point is that you get more energetic and magnetic. Greater the will, greater the flow of energy, greater the magnetism, greater the inspiration. And this is, Master gave that, greater the energy. He gave that quote specifically for Kriya. Greater the will, greater the flow of energy, specifically for Kriya. So if you sit there and just sort of passively hope something's going to happen, well, I tell you, good luck. But if you really get in there and work with it, you will find that greater the will, greater the energy, greater the magnetism. You become very magnetic. Your aura gets strong. Then the greater the inspiration. Now, what does that do? Brings positive people into your life, positive circumstances, gets rid of your problems at your work, brings you the finances that you need, better, your health is better. All these things happen because it's inside of you. It's not about what's happening around you. It's about you, inside of you. And Kriya takes you right in the center of yourself and helps you to deal with your own karma. Master would not like people to say karma, karma, oh my karma. He's like, just work on yourself and don't think about it. And also the other thing what an incredible blessing is we have the grace of the guru. As we do our practices, we're doing them with the power of all the masters behind us. Master said, I'll give you lots of my good karma so you can get through. And I mean, 25% is our efforts, 25% the guru gives us his Shakti. 50% is God's grace just flooding us, flooding our whole being. And so as you do Kriya, don't do Kriya. If you're not a Kriya bond, get to be one. But as you do Kriya, do it with the guru. Just feel my guru is flooding me with light. He's burning up the karma. And Swamiji said we can do Kriya just offering every problem up in the light and then bringing the guru's power in, his grace in with each time that we do Kriya. And so this is the main thing. And Swamiji said he would sit when he meditate with Master, all of his problems would go away. Just do that tomorrow or today. When you meditate, just meditate with the guru and just give him whatever it is. It's your own delusion, but give it to the guru and just feel like he's taking everything away from me. And this morning I had a difficulty. It wasn't difficult. It was just something I needed to resolve. And I just asked Master to help me. Did he help me? Of course he helped me. And so he helped me right away. And so I think people have a lack of faith and a lack of practice and commitment. But once you get those going, you find that you've got gold in your hands. There is nothing like Kriya Yoga and the Guru's grace coupled with that and devotion of your heart that I want to find God. I want to get rid of my problems and desires and attachments. As long as you want to keep them, well, you'll just be here. But once you want to be free, then you'll start seeing things just falling behind you, one after the other. And Swamiji said he had his consciousness up here at the spiritual eye when he was in a mood once, and 5 minutes, and it was gone. Practice these things. And Master said, keep your gaze up here at the spiritual eye all day long, not like you're cross-eyed or looking up all day, but keep your awareness there. Things happen, keep your awareness there. Another fantastic thing about Kriya is you get more centered in your spine. As you get centered, things can't harm you. Like Master told Doctor, when you're in Om, nothing can harm you. So what I'm trying to say is that the difficulty isn't outside of us, it's within us. And as we practice Kriya more and more, it's like a nail in a board. You don't know how deep that nail is, but all those problems, you just keep pulling, pop, it's gone. Another one, I can just look back and just see all these things that were so worrisome. They're just not there anymore. Look in the mirror. Look at your face. Every day, your face should be more bright, more happy, less worrisome, less anger looking, less tense. And you'll find that as you do Kriya, you become a true yogi. And that's what this path is about. It's not about, I like the food and the chanting. I want to be a real yogi in my spine. And any problem that comes, it's going to run away. And so feel that way. Feel strong in yourself. Be a spiritual warrior. And as you practice Kriya, feel that the masters, they've given that tool, that technique for us to be free. And it's what a blessing to have it. I want to finish by reading these couple of quotes that I found from Swamiji. On occasions, I and my fellow disciples experienced our guru's uplifting influence. One had only to sit in his presence for a few minutes to feel the weight of problems and worries lift mysteriously, to be replaced by a deep peace. Whenever I meditated with him, I felt as if a strong magnet were drawing my consciousness to the Christ center between the eyebrows. And secondly, finally, in the practice of Kriya, you can get out of so many problems, psychological, physical, spiritual. And if you will practice with energy, with devotion, you will find that there is no cloud that cannot be lifted in time. Let us practice Kriya with that determination that there's no cloud that cannot be lifted in time. God bless you all. And I'll ask Nitendra to join me now. We have a couple of questions.
Yes, Dhyanaji, I'll share my screen for the questions. The first one, Dhyanaji, is, does Kriya cause problems? Because it seems I was doing fine, and with Kriya, I feel I have more problems than before.
That's a funny one, isn't it? Because I hear that from people. They were going along fine. Now, were you really going along fine? Let's face it, you probably weren't. But Kriya brings things to the surface that were already there. It doesn't create more problems. You had the problems already. But thank God you can see there's a problem. You have a difficulty in whatever area. This is the wrong attitude or the wrong behavior. Kriya will point that out because it brings it up. It brings karma up to get out. And what I've seen with people, and surely in my own life, is I'm getting stronger. The problems look little. If you say, oh, there's a problem, and you don't do Kriya, the problems get gigantuan. And you become small as a pea because you haven't done anything. But as you do Kriya, you get really spiritually strong. Problems come and they go to somebody else because they just say, I can't handle her. And so think about more of that, not that there's more problems, but that you're getting stronger. Your karma is your own. It's not mine, it's not master's, it's not anybody else's. It's there, but you have to deal with it. So if Swamiji would tell us, if you see a problem, be grateful. At least I can see it. Now I know how to work on it. And he also taught us that in Kriya, just take a week with one problem if you want, and just keep offering it, keep arguing, maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, maybe 3 months, and just get rid of it. And because you're thinking about it anyway, you're focused on it, do your Kriya with that and offer it in devotion. And some things are deeper than others. Let's face it, some things have been there for a very long time. Some things are more just came recently, but whatever they are, just the best way is to strengthen yourself and have faith that the guru knows what he's doing. He's the one who's going to pull you out of the muck, so to speak. You know, I mean, how much can we do? We can get so far, but the master comes in and gets you out of there. The best thing, remember and rely on the guru and do your part.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The next question is, I want to take Kriya at some point, but right now my life is fine. I'm happy and successful and don't have any problems actually. So is there some reason I should still take Kriya now?
Are you really happy? I thought I was happy, but I never knew the depth of happiness till I started practicing Kriya and got on the path. So it may seem like you're happy, may seem like you're successful. Look ahead. 10 years from now, how are you going to be? 20 years when your health is maybe gone bad, something has happened to one of your children or your spouse, or you lost your job, or the world is falling apart. How are you going to deal with that? I think that's the question. You know, life, these things are fleeting. Happiness is there one day, then it's gone the next. And do you have a firm foundation in your life to stand on for every trial that's going to come? Probably not. And so Master's given us everything we need to build a firm base so that he said you'll be able to stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds. No matter what happens, you'll have God inside of yourself. Do you have a connection with God, even though you feel happy and successful? Are you in attunement with Divine Mother? Do you feel their presence guiding you? These are all big questions. What is the purpose of life? Why are you even here? Who are you? These are all questions that need to be asked. So materially, if we feel successful and happy, who are you and why are you here? I mean, those things don't last. I was 21 years old. I had everything people said, if you have it, you'll be happy. I was so miserable. I just thought, this just isn't my life. I need to find out what life is about. These are questions that come to you. And so it may seem that you're happy now. It may seem successful. You could lose your job tomorrow. Honestly, that's just, you're not standing on a firm foundation. That's why you want Kriya Yoga. If this is your path, you would want to start I remember when we first went to India, people would say all the time, oh, my parents told me when I get old to start practicing Kriya, when I get old. And I would look at them and I said, why would you wait till you get old and feeble and unhealthy and whatever, miserable? Start while you're young. So they would see all of us were young and happy and energetic and doing Kriya and see the example of Ananda. People of all ages were doing Kriya. Then people started coming, young people started coming. And I think that was by example. So don't wait till you can't move, you can't even sit in a chair and you want to start doing Kriya. Get going while you're young. Get some decades up under you. I started when I was 21. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I could have done so many crazy things in my life, but Master said, no, you're on the Kriya path. And when you have that, you know it's from other lives. We were doing Kriya in other lives and we ended that life. And Master, like the little boy Kashi, he brought us back to get back on the Kriya path. And what a great blessing. So start now. Don't wait till it's too late. That woman is 80 years old, Swamiji said. She had very good karma if she found God in that lifetime. How much longer did she live? But we don't have that guarantee. So I always say, while I'm healthy, mentally, physically, I've got the determination, I've got will, I've got strength, I've got energy, I've got magnetism, I'm going to use it to find God.
And then next we have a live question. It is, how will Kriya help me in my personal and spiritual growth? If for some reason I'm not able to keep pace with the prescribed number of Kriyas, will it impact me adversely?
Oh my God. I just read that even a little practice will save you from dire fears and colossal sufferings. And you're going to find that you do a little bit of practice and you want to do more because you've tasted the nectar, that Amrita, and you don't want to go back to the stale cheese, as Master said. So you just get going and you just feel so happy inside yourself that you try to go back to your old friends. I don't know if you ever tried that. You try to go back to the old things you like to do. You try to go back to the places you used to go. You try to go back and eat the foods you used to eat. And it's just so distasteful. And read the books you used to read and the television programs. You just go, I don't want that life anymore, Divine Mother. And so just get going. And will it hurt you? I mean, there's so many things people do that hurt them. Their wrong attitudes hurt them. What they watch on television hurts them. The movies hurt them. The music hurts them. This is a positive direction. Even if you do a little bit, you're heading in a positive direction. And even if you dip, you're going up. Even if there's a dip and you come back, but you're still going up. You're not going down. And so many things in this world take you straight down. So get on the upward flow, and you'll find that what I found is that the masters keep helping you to lift up. You can only go so far on your own anyway. Then you feel this huge energy that's just pushing you forward. I wish I had more time, but I don't. But I just saw very quickly, my friend and I were on this little raft in the ocean, and we thought we could get out there and have a good time. And suddenly this huge wave came. This was along the coast here in California. This huge wave came and just whap! It just pushed us so hard. Everything was out of the boat, and Thank God that we didn't die, but we got back on the shore. And you just see the power of God. So that power is there to push you forward on the spiritual path. Don't doubt it. It's there, and it's there for those who tune in.
Thank
Any
you.
more questions, Nitendra?
Yes, Dhyanaji, maybe we can squeeze one more. This is also a live question. So the question is, Lahiri Mahashaya mentioned that we should do more and more kriyas to resolve our problems. So can we increase the number of kriyas if we have a lot of problems?
That's great. I would say this, once a week, do a longer meditation. Now, I know there's some new Kriya bonds. That's why I chose this topic. So new Kriya bonds, you need to talk with your Acharya about going forward. So I'm talking to a big group of people. And so you have to talk with and get help from and guidance. Don't just go off. I remember one kind of silly person. I can't remember where she was, but she was doing like 500 kriyas after 2 weeks. Boy, did I get after her. And so this is not what you want to do. Okay, I have so many problems. I got to do, I just got to keep doing more kriya, and then you knock yourself out. Don't do it. Do more deeply, do with the guru. Once a week, do longer meditation. How about doing more Hong Sa and Om? How about energizing every day? How about energizing twice a day? How about adding in some Ananda yoga? I mean, how about changing your diet? How about changing your thoughts? I mean, look at all these things you can work on. So don't just go Kriya, 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 Kriya. This is a path. It's a way of life. It's our whole life. So add everything in. It's a formula. And I can tell you it definitely works. Anything else, Nitendra?
We do have one more question, Dhyanaji.
Okay.
This is definitely the final one. I'm used to solving my problems through counseling and therapy. Is Kriya more powerful than that?
I mean, what the guru gives is more powerful than anything. Let's face it. Is the therapist more powerful than your guru? No. Is the counselor, is the psychic, is the astrologer more powerful than your guru? No. So in what the guru gives is liberation. So the guru is given the key to freedom, Kriya. So other things can be helpful. They're not all helpful even. They can be if this is the right person who's in attunement, but rely on the masters first and foremost. And you heard what I read. Swamiji said psychological, all kinds of problems you can get out of. So, but I know people in India that I've met, they run to the astrologer, they run over to the psychic, they run over to they run everywhere. But who's sitting and really absorbing and asking master? Ask master first, is what I would say. And then get absorbed in his vibrations. Let him help you. And if other things are in alignment with our teachings and the person is in alignment and you need additional help, then it could be fine. But I would talk with your acharya first. Okay? Because I've gotten into a lot of trouble with things like that. That's why I can speak so strongly about it. So let's go back to the original thought. Solve every problem through Kriya Yoga. Then if you need additional help, talk to the masters. And if you need more, then make sure the person is in attunement with our path and their techniques are in attunement. Okay. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Thank you, Nitendra. See you next week. Bye-bye.